Hi everybody, welcome back to Crafted by Norma. I was set a challenge, I suppose you'd call it a challenge, I'm not really sure, but my granddaughter, who is into dark academia, asked me to change a personal organiser Filofax thing that she has bought and wanted it into, well, just changed really. So I asked her the question. One would be just a little bit. 10 would be completely. Which did she want me to do? And she actually said to me, oh, 10. So with that, she's given me total free range. So what I've gone and done is I've dismantled it totally. So I've taken the little tiny metal clips out. These are the little fasteners. So I've taken, oh gosh, they're quite strong. Oh, can't even open it. There you go. I've taken these out, as you can see, and then I took out the mechanics, which is this bit here that slots in, which opens and closes to put all the gubbins in. And I've pulled it all apart to see how it all works. So I've got all the bits and pieces here. It's got a rivet in there which I'm going to hopefully try and get out, and thought then, what am I going to do with it? And I had a very old and very well used and falling apart complete works of William Shakespeare. And I've tried my best, I don't know whether you can actually see there how bad it was. It was in 3 parts. So I've tried my best to stabilise it so I can actually start to build it up and make it into a more customised organiser for her. So I thought I might just take you along the journey. So the first thing I did was obviously take the journal apart, and that was the front page, and I've took them all out very carefully as much as I could without trying to do any more damage to the book, and started the process of stabilising it as much as I could. So I sort of glued it, I've painted it. I don't know how long it would last, if I'm honest. And then what I've gone and done is, with some stiff black card, I've stabilised it. I've put some oh gosh, what would you call it? I've used the brown sticky tape, the packing tape, to start with, just along that bit on the inside of there, to try and keep it together as much as I could, because it was quite tacky, and then sort of like just built it up. So here I've gone and just marked every ½ centimetre to give me that bend, that sort of curvature there, and put the black card and trimmed it. So that's going to be sort of like the base of my book. And what I'm hoping to do next is to get some black shoe polish and polish up some of this leather, because it is disintegrating. As I say, I don't know how long it will last her, but it just looks the part, I thought, as an organiser. And then what I'll do when I've done that is I'm going to have a go at putting, oops, gosh, these are hard, stiff, these little clips there, and bring in a flap over. So I just thought you'd like to follow me in my quest to change, and see how we go. So let's get started. Okay, so what I've gone and done is just marked 1.5 inches from the end, and centered it. So the book actually measures 18.5 centimetres, so I've marked it at 9.25 centimetres, just with that little tiny white dot there. And then I'm going to want to have a fastener that's going to come across and clip down like so. So to make these fasteners, what I've gone and done is a piece of black card, a thick black card, 300 GSM card. I've cut out 4 of them, and this is the 5th one, just to show you how I've done it. And I want to have the edge curved, so I've just gone and used my 1-inch circle cutter and cut out a circle like so. Get rid of that one, I don't need that one now. And put it onto the end there like so. And if I can just get this perhaps a bit closer, you might be able to, that might be a bit better. And just literally marked it with my pencil right the way around like so. So I've now got a, I don't know whether you can see it, there you go, a circle, and I just want to or a semicircle, I just want to cut that out now, just so that there we go, the end is nice and curved. And next what I did was I got my scoreboard and I scored it at move those up a bit so you can actually see. I scored it at 4 centimetres, 4 centimetres, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8 and 8.5. Now that will, or should give me enough bend when they're all glued together to give me a little bit of space between them all, so it'll bend nice and curly like so. And all I'm going to do is be gluing these together, but before I do that, what I want to do is mark where my little fastener is going to go. So I've gone and measured in from the end there 2 centimetres in and put a little tiny mark. And then you get these little, you get these little back plates, and I've put the back plate on the circle there, and then just marked there and there. I'll bring that a bit closer to you so you can see. So I've got 2 little, can you see that? 2 little marks where I can make a little slit ready for the legs of the fastener to go in, because they've got like little legs, there we go, to slot into. So what I'm going to need now is either scissors or my crafting knife, and I'll probably use my crafting knife just to make those little slits. Oops. Please be careful you don't take your finger off in the process, like so. And I'm going to do that on 2 of them. And the reason I'm doing it on 2 of them is on the side that goes over the book, I don't want you to be able to see those fastenings at all. So where are we now? I'm going to put that onto there like so, and hopefully my pencil will be able to go through those 2 little slits that I've made there and there and mark underneath, and it does very, very lightly. It does, not particularly well, but I think it's there and it's there. Okay, so we've got there and we've got there, and again I'm going to mark it and cut it out with my craft knife. And I say, please be careful. Right, so we've got 2 little slits, and what we're going to do, oh gosh, these magnets are really strong. Now you've got one that's just got like a little nipple on it, and you've got one that's got like a little indent, so male and female really. So I'm going to put the male one in the top, and I'm going to slot it in through those little holes like so, like that. There we go. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the other one, like so. But really I could do with, all I think about is to glue it, isn't it? Gosh, think about that, Norma. Right, so we're going to get some glue, hopefully, and we're going to glue these together. So these two, like that. There we go. Now, because I've not done this before, I'm just hoping this is going to work. But I thought about it this morning at something like 3 o'clock, when my brain was going tickety-tock, when I should have been asleep. Right, okay, so we've got that there like that, now covered in glue, and hopefully that bends that way, yeah, like so. That's bending like that, like so. And that should slot over there now through those two little gaps. Does it? Yes! Oh, perfect. Perfection. Okay. There we go. So it looks like that on that side. Trying to keep it as clean as possible. Okay. And then we've got this little tiny piece here that we're going to slot over the edges like so. And with a bit of luck, I should have somewhere a screwdriver. And I'm just going to push that down. Oops, like so. Should keep that nice and secure. And the same on the other side. Push that down. Nice and secure. And hey presto. Lovely. Making sure that's still bendy, because we want that to be bendy to go over the book like so. So now we've got those in place, and that seems to be quite secure. I'm going to glue the next one on. Okay, so put my glue on all the way around. And then we're going to leave these overnight to settle, okay, before we have a go at fixing it into the book, like so, because we need to get as much prep done as we can. Okay, that's bending that way, that wants to bend that way, and that's going to go onto there like so. There we go. Oops, we want that to be there, don't we? Where's my rag? Oh! And you'll notice that I don't use baby wipes. I'll use an old rag or an old flannel or another piece of cloth. Basically because I'm trying to save the planet. Because baby wipes can take so long to disintegrate. And if you pop them down the loo, they tend to get our pipe works and our storage systems, they give it a bit of a headache. Okay, and we're going to do the same now with the fourth one, because I want this to be quite strong and quite robust. I think that's the right word. There we go. So all the way along, like that, to the very edges. And then we're going to leave this overnight to set. Okay, so I've got that one to go on there as well. I'll try and keep it as square as we can at the same time, like that, but we still want it to be bendy. Okay, and all I'm going to do now is try and secure these together using some of my little bulldog clip things. And as I say, we're going to leave this overnight now to cure, ready to add into the book. But I want it to be quite tight if I can. There you go. And the light's just beginning to fade here, so I'll carry on filming tomorrow. I'll get some more prep done and we'll work on the next stage. Oh, there we go. And what I'll do now is I'll go away and give the book cover a good polish with some black boot polish to try and keep that leather a little bit more supple. Okay, so there we have our strap to go there, ready for adding into our journal. Okay, see you at the next stage. Getting quite excited. Right, so I've taken off all the clips on the little strap, and I now need to adhere it to the journal, and also to mark up where the journal needs to have the clasp. So what I did was I put a ring of tape in there to represent the thickness of the book, and roughly measured out the centre, which was 3 3/4, I think it was, and I put a little tiny dot. So that's where I'm going to want to put my little flap. So we've already attached that one, I just need to attach that one to there now. So I've got my little back plate there, which I'm going to just put on that little circle there, as, oops, gosh, my fingers are a bit like so, and then I'm just going to puncture 2 little holes to slide this through to the other side. So just bear with me. When you're doing this, please be careful that you don't injure yourself. Oops. There we go. Through there and through that one. Now hopefully that would have gone through to the other side. So let's just check. Yes, there we got the 2 little holes there. So I'm going to straighten these off a little bit with a pair of pliers that I've got. These probably aren't the best or the most sensible of pliers to do this with, but needs must. There we go. Ooh. Try and straighten those off as best as I can. Oh. There we go. So I'm going to try and slot those through now, through those 2 little marks that I've made there. Ooh. And this is a bit fiddly. If only I could see what I was doing, it would help. Oh. There we go. Brilliant. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to turn the book the other way around now, and we're going to slide. Now that's nowhere near centre, is it? Oh, well, that's too late now. Right, okay, my idea of centre is not the best, shall we say. Okay. So I'm going to push those down as hard as I can to get that as secure as I can. There we go. So seeing that that's not as centre as I thought it might be, let's just click that in there, and then we're going to have to try and... So we want it to be something like that, I think. Yeah. So if I hold on to that there, unclip it, open it out, and I'm just slightly out. So what I'm going to do is get my pencil, and draw to the edge, like so. Okay, so we've fixed that in, and we're now going to fix this into the book. And I'm going to want to glue this down. Now I want it so I've got this bendy bit where we've marked them out, we scored them to give it the curve. I want that to be about there. So we're going to glue that down, and we're also going to run some card over it to keep it secure, I think. So let's get my glue. and do that. Now I've also had a couple of sleepless nights trying to think the best way to attach this centrepiece here. Now my main concerns are the book itself is quite delicate to begin with, and I don't want to put any pressure on it when you're using it, because this piece here is so fragile. So I had some thoughts on the best way forward with it. Now then, let's see if I can get a piece of thin black card, or a piece of thin card. Ooh. Will that do? I've got a thin black card. That thin black card. Thin black card. There are some thin black card, which I want to just run down there, like so, to get a bit of strength. Where was I? Sorry. Yeah, so I didn't think that was going to be strong enough to actually hold that centrepiece in, if I'm honest. So what I decided to do was sort of compromise to a certain extent. I'm just going to put that there and run this on the side there to give it, that's it, like that, to give it more strength and durability. Gosh, that's a good word, Norma. Durability for me. So if that's going to go there, that's going to go there, and they're going to go down there. Yeah, right, okay. So I'm quite happy that going there. So what I've decided to do is just a slightly off-piece design. Off-pieced? Yeah, off-piece design. There we go, just run some glue down there. Which reminds me I need to order some more actually. And my PVA glue of choice is the Sea White of Brighton PVA glue. It's a really, really good sturdy glue. And I decant it into this container that I'm using at the moment, purely for convenience. And on saying that, it won't come out. There we go. I just want to try and make it as strong as I can, seeing that the book itself is quite fragile. So the more strength we can try and give it, I think the better. Right, okay. That's the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter. So we're just going to braille that in, like so. And I'll clip that in with a bulldog clip in a minute while it dries. Lovely. Just get my cloth and just take away any excess. Oh, I'll bring you down a little bit further perhaps. There we go. So we'll just bulldog clip that in, or use some of these large paper clips just to keep that in check there, like so. There we go. And we'll just let that dry off. So while that's drying off, I'll try and explain to you what it is I'm hoping to achieve. So instead of putting that there, like so, and I think that's going to cause issues with the book, I'm going to actually place it there on the book. So I've checked to make sure that the inner pages will actually still fit in. So there's plenty of room there for them to fit in. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve. Now before I can do that, what I need to do is cover the whole of the interior. And it's more than 12 inches, unfortunately. Something I hadn't planned for. So in total it must be not far off 12.5, perhaps 13 inches. So what I thought I would do is put an end panel on this end here. So I've made an end panel. So I've just got some black card, covered it in some of the Shakespeare paper that was inside the book. This one's The Taming of the Shrew. And I'm going to put that one there like so. So it doesn't matter if my paper's a little bit shorter that end. So I'm going to start this end, put the paper down, and to get to there. And as I say, it doesn't really matter if it's a bit short because it's going to be hidden by this side pocket here. That's the plan. Oh, like all good plans. So the next thing I needed was obviously some paper. Now I quite like this paper, but this paper had an issue. So this is the paper I am going to use, and as you can see there's a shortfall just on this edge here. But as I say, it's not going to matter because we're going to put that there anyway. And because it is dark academia themed, I thought that dark paper with the writing on was just the job. Now what I need is it's going to go onto there, it's going to come along here, and I'm going to want to have it curved. So I've marked with my ever ready pencil, if I can find it. I've just gone and marked where the curve on the book starts. So I've got two little marks there where the book starts to curve, and what I want to do now is score along those lines so that this will bend quite easily. So if I just find my scoreboard, like so, just jot that down. Let's just move those out of the way. Try and work tidy. I don't work tidy at all. I don't know about you ladies. Give me space and I just fill it with all sorts. So I normally end up working in a little tiny gap about, I don't know, 6 inches. So when I'm filming, I do try to give myself a little bit more space, but I'm not the tidiest of workers, I'll be honest. So down here we've got, just shift that little card. So down here we've got the 2 marks. I've got a mark here and I've got a mark here. So you're perhaps not in the right place, or I'm not in the right place. So I've marked it there and I've marked it there, and then roughly the centre I think is going to be about there. So let's just measure it just to make sure I'm on the right tracks. So from that measurement to there, it's 5.5. So if I go from here to there, 5.5. Oops. Sounded like Robin Hood's bow. There. And then if I went 5, it should be, no, it shouldn't be 5.5. And then we've got to mark from here to here. So how far is that? From there to there is just roughly 2 inches. So from that mark there, that mark there to that mark there is the 2 inches. And half of 2 inches is 1 inch. Always good at maths. So on my scoreboard I've marked a centre line, which helps me no end. So I want to make sure that that's straight as possible. And I'm going to put my first line, score line, there down the centre. Like so. And then I'm going to come in 0.5 centimetre and do another one. Come in another 0.5 centimetre and do another one. Another 0.5 centimetre and do another one. Another 0.5 centimetre and do another one. So that's the centre one, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. Okay, now what I want to do carefully, without moving it around too much, do exactly the same on the other side. Try not to move it at all if possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There we go. Hopefully you can see those score lines there, which now will mean that this will bend quite easy. Take the bend of the page quite easy, like so. Okay, so let's just put it back towards here and see how we're getting on here. So yeah, that looks as if it's nicely sorted. And we're hopefully going to put that to there. That's going to curve like so. When we glue it down, we've got a little tiny bit of give. Yes. Okay, so that's the easy bit. So what I'm going to need to do now is measure where I am going to want to put this. Okay. So roughly, I would say from that line there, let's see, and it's going to be, this hardest thing is to try and get this to be straight. I need it to be about there. So about there. So let's just measure that now. Okay. So that takes me to about there. So make sure I've got the same measurement there, which is slightly out to there. Okay. So we've got two lines there where we know that's going to be straight, hopefully, because we're actually going to have to attach this to this card before we attach it to the box. So next, now I know that pen will not go that far, so I'm just going to make a little mark here and a little mark there. We've got two tiny little marks, which I can just about see. One's there. Let's see if I can use a pen instead of that. I've now lost my little mark. There it is. So a little mark there and a little mark there. Okay. Now what I have done, if I can just find it, is made some stiff card to go at the back of there. Now then, where have I put it? Because I'm so organised, I've lost it. Where the wood have I put it? Brown, black, 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 black. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. Oh, here it is. Gosh, can't see for looking. So on this one, I've gone and used 4 pieces of black card and just stuck them together so it is really sturdy. And I'm going to be putting this on the back of there like so. And then we've got the holes there for the metal to go through. So I've already marked it off, put it there, I've marked it off and I've put 2 little marks there, and I'm just going to punch those holes out with my Every Ready punch. Now I think that these clips that I'm going to use will go in the small hole, so we'll just have a test piece of card just to make sure. Will they slide through that little hole there? Oh yes, nice and tight. Yes, okay. So I'm using the 1/8 punch hole, and I'm going to punch it there, and I'm going to want to punch it there. So we've now got the 2 holes that correspond with those 2 holes that's on the back there. We've also got the 2 little tiny holes that we've got there. So to make things all, whoops, neat and tidy, go away, we're going to punch those holes too. So I line them up as best as I can, and we'll punch those 2 holes as well. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm sure there must be an easier way of doing this, but this is the way that I thought I'd do it. Okay. So what we need to do now is line this up with those 2 holes. So, which is a bit easier said than done. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some sticky tape. So I've got some of this really thick wide, not thick, isn't it? Wide double-sided tape, which is going to help me secure this to the right place and also help with gluing. So I'm just going to lay that down there like so. I don't like to use double-sided tape when I'm making things because I don't think it lasts as long as glue. But if you use them both together, they're quite advantageous because the sticky tape will secure it to where you want the glue to stay, and then it gives the glue chance not to move around, but to be there forever and a day. So let's just see, let's cut that piece off. And we'll use those two ends there like that. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to pop that one there like so. There we go. And move those down like that. There we go. And I also find if you burnish your double-sided tape quite well, it'll normally come away from the backing quite easily. Right, so where's my glue? I've lost my glue. Here we are. Here's my glue. So I'm just going to run. I'm going to have to take this off and give it a wash, I think. My nozzle keeps getting blocked. And there's nothing worse than having a blocked nozzle, I believe. Right, okay, so we're going to put some glue along there, and all the way along there, along the edge there. That's it. Like so. Right, and hopefully we're going to manage to get these to be in the same place. So, where are we? So that one's there, and that one's there. Brilliant. Right, let's just wipe away the excess glue. Like so. And give it a quick burnish to make sure everything's all nice and tight and secure. There we go. Now, if we've got a little bit of excess that's just showing there, we can just trim that off. That's not an issue at all. Okie dokie. Okay, so I'll just get my metal rule and just trim that off. Like so. Ooh, that's nearly there. And I always find it's better to just do smaller little strokes and get down there eventually. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. Right, so we're getting there slowly. Getting there slowly. And that should marry up to that quite nicely. Where are we? Like so. Brilliant. Okay, so next we just have to put in the pins. Now I'm not going to glue this in at all, although I did think about gluing there, didn't I? So a little extra bit of strength. What I might do is put some glossy accents on there. Glossy accents is a really good glue as well, to be fair. Especially for sort of like metal things, it is quite good. Let me just get the end off. Ooh. There we go. Gosh, what's up with the glues today? I do apologise. I really do apologise. There we go. Okay, and that will hopefully help it secure in its place. Right, so we're going to drop one of those down, and we're going to drop that one in a minute. So this is going to go through the hole, like so. And then this one is going to do the same on this side. Oops. Oh, you sound so... Go through the hole. Go through the little hole. Oh, this one doesn't want to play a game. There we are. Ooh. Brilliant. Okay. So I've now popped those through the holes on those sides, and we're going to open these up. Like so. I'm going to try and make them as tight as we can. There we go. And there we have that, and that's quite secure. It's a bit wobbly there. Let's see if we can push this one in a bit further. There we go. That's better. We'll press on this one, this side as well, and see if we can press those in deeper. Like so. Brilliant. Okay, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, quite happy with that. Now what I want to do is to leave those to dry, but what I'm going to do is put another piece of card over those just to give it again a little extra bit of strength. And then we'll come back to them in an hour or so when they're dry. There we go. That's it. There we go. Let's give that a little bit of a burnish. Extra little bit of strength in there. Okay. Right, we'll see you back in a little while to carry on. Just let that dry. Okay, see you in a minute.